Hello everyone and welcome to BattleBots Rematches, Son of Whyachi versus Poison Arrow. Now I delayed the filming of this for a long time simply because I thought the Poison Arrow I had would not be good enough to take on the mighty Son of Whyachi. But you know what? We're just going to throw him to the wolves because I think he's got a good chance. Especially that Sao has kind of proven how non-invincible he is. He's been losing a lot of fights lately. Let the bot battle begin! The matchup that brought us the infamous Whyachi Copter in 2016, and Poison Arrow replicate that today. Son of Whyachi a little bit under pressure there from the drum spinner. Seems like there's a lot of spots to hit on Poison Arrow that Son of Whyachi can exploit. Poison Arrow getting flipped onto Son of Whyachi's weapon. A bit top heavy still, this Poison Arrow machine. Significantly better than versions we've seen in the past, but could still probably use some improvement. Son of Whyachi trying to pop off some shots, and it looks like Son of Whyachi lost a hammer. So Poison Arrow is the one getting the better of these early exchanges, despite having a drum that just doesn't look capable. Speaking of it not looking capable, pieces are shedding off both robots. There's a bracing rod missing from Sao, and Poison Arrow has a chunk of drum missing. Now Son of Whyachi looking a little bit imbalanced with the missing bracing rod. Poison Arrow trying to move in again, and now he's lost a ram plate on one side. As Sao moves in trying to get more shots, I see something else on the ground. It looks like another Sao tooth. Well, both bots are really ripping into each other. I gotta say, I think Poison Arrow is better off right now as he gets another good shot on Son of Whyachi, who's really struggling to keep his balance. And I wouldn't be surprised if he loses the other hammer due to too many hits in the ground. Poison Arrow trying to keep half of that drum, whatever is left, in front of Sao, who's spinning recklessly out of control at this point. But now Poison Arrow is smoking. These two are going toe to toe, and there it is. Sao has lost the last hammer. And as if it matters, he's got all three bracing rods removed as well, but he is completely weaponless. Poison Arrow in the very strong position at the moment. Despite that he's smoking, he's just got to be very careful. Sao's game now lies within the arena hazards, and with less than a minute left, there's still a decent amount of time for Poison Arrow to get eliminated. Sao trying to drive him into the wall, maybe pin him on a side. That's all he has left. What has happened to Son of Whyachi since losing the Mauler in Season 3 of the Cup? He's got Poison Arrow pinned on his backside, but Poison Arrow's kind of rocking around, and he rocks back onto his wheels. Heartbreak for Son of Whyachi. He thought he had the winning pin. He flips Poison Arrow again. 20 seconds now remain. This fight is definitely going to be a tough one to call if it goes the distance, and it is looking like it's heading that way. Poison Arrow trying to pin Sal towards the corner of the arena. He's really just trying to delay, I think, because he knows the hazards can knock him out. Sao is trying to lift him up again. But here is the closing seconds. The fight ends. This is going to be a tough decision. And it really was a tough decision to decide, especially with a category like damage, which almost seems easy at first. Poison Arrow got Son of Whyachi's weapon completely removed, but Poison Arrow was a few hits away from being knocked out with a damaged chassis, and part of his weapon was down. But considering all factors, the victory goes to Poison Arrow. He had a little bit more control in the fight and did a lot of significant damage. Yeah, maybe half his weapon was gone and he was a couple hits away from being knocked out, but he was still mobile, functioning, everything was working properly. So another defeat for the Son of Whyachi machine. Well, maybe he was nerfed too much. Maybe you guys are right. I'll have to look into that a little bit. But until then, it's time for the Wheel of Mayhem fight. Can't wait to see what these two are going to get. Let's spin it and find out. And it's Execute Emergency. Execute Emergency is fairly simple. We throw Emergency in the ring, and our two fighters will have to be the one that gets the knockout blow on him. You can attack him, you can attack each other, as long as you get the last hit that knocks Emergency out. It's kind of fun. We'll see how it goes with these two. And let Execute Emergency begin for Son of Whyachi and Poison Arrow. Emergency going after Son of Whyachi immediately, and Sao is already flipped over. Less than 10 seconds that took. Well, maybe this wasn't the ideal scenario for these two from the Wheel of Mayhem. Sometimes the wheel can be very, very cruel. Emergency is attacking Poison Arrow as Sal sits upended in the middle of the arena. Poison Arrow can barely get out of that corner against the much stronger, more powerful, larger Emergency. Gets another flip there. It appeared that the count had started on Son of Whyachi, and now it's not going anymore as Poison Arrow nearly pinned on his side. And now he gives Son of Whyachi a bit of a bump. Is he trying to get Emergency to flip Son of Whyachi? Emergency not taking the bait at the moment. And now there's a Son of Whyachi sandwich on deck. Emergency flips Sal back over and then flips him again into the wall. Poison Arrow taking the opportunity to attack Emergency's wheels while he's got the big flipper distracted. Sal was released from the wall and he's still upended. He's been that way pretty much the whole fight, and now Poison Arrow is underneath Emergency, but didn't have the drum on the right side to cause any problems. And now we got a Poison Arrow sandwich on deck. These are some good lunch specials. I should tell Bulldog about this. Emergency going after Poison Arrow again. Son of Whyachi spinning up into the corner. Still not really doing much of anything. It looks like Poison Arrow is trying to make this a fair fight and get Sal flipped, but Emergency isn't buying it. Emergency losing a flipper at the hands of Poison Arrow, who gets the other one. Well, it's good news for Poison Arrow, who can't get flipped anymore, but bad news for Sal, who is probably done for now. Poison Arrow going after Emergency's wheels again. Now in a great position to perhaps execute the beast. Sal continues to spin around. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten counted out yet. What's going on? Ref, how come we can't... Why is Sal still going? Okay, there we go. Now they're counting him out. Emergency pushing Poison Arrow meanwhile as Sal has his fate cemented. Poison Arrow getting to the side of Emergency, getting a wheel as well. Good stuff from Poison Arrow, but he's only got about 35 seconds to get Emergency eliminated or else he doesn't win. Remember, it's execute Emergency. It's not beat Emergency. He gets another wheel. Poison Arrow has a chance. He got a third. 3 wheels. And now he's upended. Poison Arrow needs to rock out of this and hurry up and get that last wheel. Or maybe just knock out Emergency by any other means. Well, he's finally flipped himself over, but he's got 10 seconds, and it looks like somehow Emergency is going to survive. You know, with 1 wheel and no flippers, but the countdown, it's 0. That's the end of the fight. You lucky prick. Well, in the small amount of time that Execute Emergency has been on the Wheel of Mayhem, I believe that is the first time we've actually seen him survive the 3 minutes. And that definitely was survival. With no weapon and with only 1 wheel. He got lucky. He got very, very lucky. One thing I used to do in the series all the time was propose a discussion question at the end of the video regarding the fight, and basically it's always a what if. So today's what if question is, what if Son of Whyachi didn't hold back at the start of the fight while Poison Arrow was going after his mini-bot? Would the result have been different? Have your say below in the comments. And also in the comments, let me know if there's a rematch you want to see, and we'll get it in this series. Thank you for watching, leave a like if you enjoyed, and see you next time. Let the bot battle begin! The new tombstone by Thyrus. It seems like it's a bit stronger, but hasn't really proven that yet against a very